And good evening. I'm Antonio Figueroa, and this is Jesus Lopez next to me. And we want to welcome you to our second Orlando Youth Chamber Ensemble live stream. We have some wonderful opportunities to present for you all tonight and would like to keep you informed of all of our new developments happening this season. This season, we have added 4 new exciting ensembles. We have now Jazz Workshop, Vocal Jazz Ensemble, and our 2 newest string orchestras, along with new vibrant ensemble directors and staff members to give each one of our ensemble members the best experience possible with Orlando Youth Chamber Ensemble. With that, we would like to give you an update on some upcoming dates we have for this season. Registration deadline is December 9th. Our audition dates for our jazz bands and our other ensembles will happen November 7th. Our masterclass series we have coming up this Friday for flute with Katie Mess. And then we also have another one next week with saxophone on the 27th. Our other live streams will take place on the 21st of October, and that will be our strings, which will happen on a Wednesday. And then we'll have it on November 4th for our woodwinds, which will also happen on a Wednesday. I take that back, my fault. It's going to be November 4th for strings, and then woodwinds will happen November 18th. Please, again, our start date for our season is December 14th. Thank you again, and here is Mr. Jesus Lopez.
Hi, guys. First and foremost, I want to thank you guys for being here. Feel free to share this on your social medias, start watch parties, let everyone know about our YouTube, however you're watching it. Please share with your friends. We love to try and tell as many of you guys what we're up to, what we're doing, and give you all these cool opportunities that we're providing for you. Tonight, we have all of our brass and percussion staff members here to speak to you guys about their ensembles, what they do, who they are, some of the opportunities they like to provide for you guys, and actually some of our partners are here too to talk about how they benefit the organization, how the organization benefits them, and how they can help you guys. So first up, I think we have our low brass ensemble, right? Our low brass ensemble features our low brass ensemble director, Juwan Murphy, director bands over at Union Park Middle School, and our rehearsal assistant, Mr. Frederick Blanchard, who you might spot him at Winter Park High School and Ocoee High School, and we're so glad and appreciative of them being here and being on our staff. So without further ado, Mr. Frederick Blanchard and Mr. Juwan Murphy.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hello.
Hey, there we are. How's it going? So, I want you guys to just talk a little bit about yourself, like what you guys do, who you are, and then we'll talk about your ensemble.
I'll go ahead first. So my name's Juwan Murphy. I grew up right here in Orlando, and I went to the University of Central Florida, where I got my degree in music education as well as music performance with a focus in trombone. I have a couple years of DCI experience. I got the opportunity to march with Carolina Crown in 2015 and 16, which was really awesome, and I really enjoyed that. And I love teaching, and I love playing music. I play in a couple groups around town. Primarily right now, I'm playing baritone in the brass band of Central Florida, and I play a little bit of salsa here and there, and I just try to do whatever I can to stay active and playing and teaching, and I just love music, so I'm so glad to be a part of this organization. So
Just to answer that question, I'm Frederick Blanchard. Obviously, that was said. I'm a music ed major. I'm still working on my studies at the moment. I do teach percussion at what is now 3 high schools: Winter Park High School, Ocoee, and now Spruce Creek High School. I've been working with their front ensemble, and at the moment, just because of all the different schools I've been working and teaching at, I haven't really had the time to play with any ensemble. I'm hoping to get back into that soon. Although I am singing in Voce del Core, which is a professional choir under the Orlando Choral Society umbrella. which is run by Dr. Jeffrey Redding, who is the newly appointed choral director of UCF. So, in terms of performance, it's really all I'm doing at the moment. I don't really feel like there's like anything else I can say other than, I really am excited to be a part of this and to work with the students.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that information about you too. We are so excited to have you guys on board. Question for you. What makes your ensemble so exciting? What's exciting for this year for our low brass ensemble?
So it's really something special when you can get a group of low brass instruments all together and just have that sheer amount of power and sound. And there's so much you can do to create and um, amazing music with just playing a low brass instrument. And maybe I'm a little biased, but I think it's one of the coolest ensembles that you can be a part of, just because um, it, the instrumentation and the sounds and the different music that you can play. There's lots of exciting things that we have planned to do together with the ensemble. So I'm just it's cool. It's a good time. It's really cool as well that we have the opportunity to have someone like Frederick work with us. He does a little bit conducting. He does a little bit of composing. So, last year we got to experience some of that. So I'm glad we also get to bring that to the table this year as well. So.
No, that's super awesome. And one of my favorite parts about it is I feel like the low brass section is always like stuck in the back of the classroom. They get all the quarter notes and half notes and whole notes. And not the most interesting part, arguably the most important, but not the most interesting. So it's so cool that we get to like feature them and put them on the forefront, give them the melody for one, especially like the trombones and euphonium players. And I don't know, maybe this year that less like elusive chimbasso might pop up. But of course, to do that, we need you guys to like let your friends know, grow the group, make it flourish, so that we can have all these crazy fun, so that we can get you guys chimbassos and guest clinicians and all that stuff.
So, with that being said, what are some exciting things that you're going to be doing with your ensemble that doesn't pertain what they're already learning in school?
Right. Um, there's some really cool opportunities, especially once we see what kind of instrumentation that we have that we're working with. Um, there's a different trombone choir things, and I'm a trombone player myself, and there's just tons of music to do with trombone choirs. There's tons of tuba youth ensembles, which I've also been a part of in the past. And I can see us splitting up a little bit and doing some small group work, with one section and another section, and also doing some things uh, together. So it just there's lots of opportunity there to share with the students and to make it really special. So.
One and this isn't for Joanna, Mr. Blanchard, but for everyone out there, if you guys are low brass players, feel free to ask questions, put it in the chat, put it on YouTube comments, and we'd be more than happy to pull them up and let you guys ask our wonderful staff your questions that you guys have saved up.
And I know we have a burning question from our low brass people who are watching right now. A big question that's always going to come up is, are you going to be bringing any guest clinicians in for your rehearsals?
Right. One thing that's I'm really fortunate to have the opportunity to, one, live in the Orlando area, but two, there's so many people that I've connected with through UCF and DCI, just great musicians all around that um, I'm in works. I have friends and teachers that live in Texas and Indiana and different states all around that I've talked to, and they're more than willing to help spread their knowledge. And I always, anyone I teach, I say, learn from as many people as you can, because um, that's how you get the most experiences. um, I also, there's a lot of in the past, we've been able to get some of our teachers from UCF to come out, and I'm hoping that we can possibly do something like that again. as well as there's some also really great players that just have so much information to give the students. So I hope as many as say yes will be willing to, a really cool thing about, you know, a not intended turn of events with everything virtual happening right now is the ability to bring people in from different locations. So I see that as an opportunity to um, just experience a lot of different teaching from a lot of different people.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys were able to participate or sign up for it, but over the summer we did this really awesome all-state prep clinic where we had some amazing low brass players. Drew Pritchard, Dr. Louis Fred, Joey Vasic. Oh my goodness, who are some of the other great? Matt McGarvey. There's just so many.
Louise Fred, yeah.
Yeah, Andrew Salee, Yannick Yinnis. So,
Yeah.
and we're so thankful to have all these great players help us out and come and be able to work with some of our students and non-students. So the list is endless. We want to expose you guys to some of the best low brass players that Central Florida has to offer.
Fantastic. And thank you, Joanne Murphy, for the answering of the question for the exciting things that are happening. This next one is for Mr. Frederick Blanchard. Want to know what kind of exciting pieces will you be playing for this season?
It is. My answer is pretty similar to Mr. Murphy. Definitely depending on the instrumentation, maybe we can split up and do a little something. Preferably, and again, personally, maybe something a little more euphonium heavy, just because that of all the brass instruments is my favorite. And so I'm going to be focused a lot more on, tone, something more ballad, melodic. We'll still have our, fast, fun pieces here and there. But I've been looking around. Depends on, whether the students are able to handle, what I'm thinking of giving to them. If they can step up to the plate, I think they'll enjoy what we have to offer. The pieces that I'm looking at, one that I may, depending on how things go, I may even write myself, and we could look at maybe playing that. It's really all I have to say on that at the moment.
Yeah, and I know like the low brass ensemble played some really awesome pieces. I know you guys played some Star Wars, some Game of Thrones. I know with Mr. Hall, which you guys will meet shortly, you guys played Finlandia, Jupiter. So a little bit of the more popular stuff, some of the really cool orchestral transcriptions. So it's a large variety of music. It's not just marches and again your typical whole notes. We put you guys
Right.
at the forefront and we get you guys some really cool music that again you normally wouldn't have the opportunity to play the melody or some of like the main lines that you would in a concert band where you would hear.
Well, that's some exciting stuff. Low brass playing Star Wars. It's a sight to see. For the both of you, I have a question. What are some performances that you're excited for looking to get this group into?
So performance wise, it's right now with everything going on, it's very tentative, I'd I'd say. But I think at the very least, it'd be really cool. Especially, I mentioned the opportunity with things being virtual at some point to do some sort of virtual choir type thing. Um, and that way we can bring an audience in to whatever we're doing together. Um, there's a lot of local venues, especially with the connections that I've been able to create. There's a lot of local venues that I have been speaking with, and when things get more up and rolling, I think there will be quite a few different opportunities for our group, um, if especially if we have the people. So
Yeah, and again, we like to collaborate quite a bit with UCF too. So we play
right,
at some of their events. We have our benefit concerts. We go out to schools. We have partnerships with some of like with HAPCO and Valencia College, which you'll hear from them shortly. So again, it's all about providing opportunities that students would normally not have in the schools. And again, it's not to replace their education in the schools, but to supplement it. But I want to thank you guys. Thanks so much, Mr. Murphy and Mr. Blanchard, for being here and really letting the students know about all the awesome opportunities that they can experience in our low brass ensemble.
Perfect.
course.
Thank you guys again.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
As we move on and introduce our next person, we want to have a couple of reminders of some dates that are coming up. Again, our registration deadline for OYCE is happening December 9th. We have our audition dates happening in November 7th. Again, we have our masterclass series happening soon. We have one this Friday with flute at the 23rd, which is Friday. And then we have saxophone on the 27th. So please be sure to tune in. And then we have our other live streams happening for strings on the 4th of November and woodwinds on the 18th of November. So please make sure you're in there for those live streams and our master classes.
And yeah, and again, don't forget, let your friends know about this. The best way that we can make sure that as many people in the community are being impacted is, hey, grab a friend. You're sitting next to each other 6 feet away at school and be like, hey, check out this awesome thing that I heard about. Hey, look at this masterclass with the Rollins flute professor and come and join us. Again, we just want to hang out with you and teach you a thing or two.
And if you haven't, as you can see down below is our registration. Just log in there and go ahead and get started registering for our ensembles. Thank you again.
But with that, I think we're bringing on Mr. Chris King. So Mr. Chris King is our CFO, so he handles all the behind-the-scenes stuff along with Mr. Figueroa and myself. But he's also the trumpet choir director, and I know he's really crazy and kooky for fancy trumpets and cornets and flugelhorns and all that, and we'll let him talk about that. But without further ado, Mr. Chris King.
How's everybody doing?
Look at
As
that.
if anyone can actually answer me. But I hope everyone's having a wonderful night. So far, so good with all this. I feel like we're doing a Jerry Lewis telethon, the way it's flowing. There's a joke no one gets. But my name is Chris King. I am a professional trumpet player in the Orlando area. I play for Disney, Universal, and a bunch of stuff that passes through. Temptations, Four Tops. I did a bit of stuff with Hank Williams Jr., a Trans-Siberian Orchestra offshoot group, and lots of other things. And Jesus Lopez has been with me on plenty of things too. We've all had a lot of fun doing a lot of things. But I am the trumpet choir director, or trumpet ensemble. What did we decide on calling it, by the way?
I think we wanted trumpet choir, if I'm not mistaken.
We wanted trumpet choir. Okay, I'll try and stick with trumpet choir. I'm gonna screw it up, but I am the trumpet choir director. Let's see, where do I go from there? The trumpet choir for OICE is ideally between 10 and 25 students of high school and usually older middle school age. We do music ranging from pretty much present day, some pop tunes, Beatles, back to about the 11th century. So on a given program, we might do Yesterday by the Beatles and then some antiphonal Gabrielli things with two trumpet choirs set up. There's a good library of music we actually have, and I'm always searching for more because there's a lot of really cool stuff out there. So I'm always happy to find a new thing. I get really excited. I'm like, oh my God, there's an arrangement of that. That's fantastic. Fly. Yeah,
No.
there are some flies. I left the door open. I'm an idiot.
Great things are happening, and I'm myself am very excited about the trumpet choir, being a trumpet player myself. A question for you: what are some great guest clinicians that you're going to be bringing in for your rehearsals to work with your trumpet choir?
Well, the obvious one, who I know has previously agreed to do stuff, is Dr. Jesse Cook from UCF. He's actually the trumpet professor there. He's been in the position for 2 years, I want to say. And he's doing great things with the trumpet studio out there. The students are making great progress. They all sound fantastic, that amazes me that as the years go on, I hear college students sounding better and better. I'm just like, we couldn't have done this when I was there. But I'm a Rollins graduate, however. I did not go to UCF. The parking was easier at Rollins. It was closer to my house, and it was just a really, really cool vibe.
And who doesn't want to be a tar?
One more time?
And who doesn't want to be a tar?
Well, we sort of had two mascots, and if you Google, you'll see both of them. One's a fox, and the other one is the official mascot that doesn't get used a whole lot outside of basketball games and things like that. Because fun trivia, Rollins does not have a football team. They did, and they did beat UF at some point about 100 years ago. Claim to fame.
Perfect. What are some exciting things and exciting performances that you're looking forward to with the trumpet choir?
Well, performances, what we planned on doing this past season, although it didn't get to happen because of various reasons, was actually performing at the UCF Trumpet Fest. And pending the event happening this next coming spring, we would be doing that. And Dr. Jesse Cook has been really excited about that happening. And also, what did not happen last season either because of various reasons, COVID, um, was a field trip to the Warburton shop out in Mims, Florida. For those who don't know, Warburton is a manufacturer of brass mouthpieces, mutes, saxophone necks, and you know what? Just go to their website. Their inventory is a nightmare. They're even fed up with it. They make way too many things, and they're cool things. They make two-piece mouthpieces with a top section and a back bore, which makes it really neat because you can kind of dial into exactly what kind of cup, rim, back bore, and all kind of stuff you want. So you can play with the resistance and make sure that it works for you, which is really huge. For the longest time, mouthpieces were one piece, and uh, we started doing two-piece mouthpieces maybe I want to say 60 years ago, just for some compatibility things, and it's really taken off. And they do a great job at it. And a really great advantage is that they're local. So I was planning a field trip out there for the trumpet choir. There we go. Caught myself. A field trip out there, and generally, if somebody visits and asks to see things, they'll show you the manufacturing process, which goes from just solid brass rod, which I thought I had some lying around, but I don't. And it goes into the milling process, stamping, engraving, plating, and all the other stuff. It's actually really cool to watch, and you get to try out whatever kind of stuff you want there because they have everything in their product line available to pick up and play with. And when I say everything in their product line, I mean it's like 5,000 different things, a lot of which are mouthpieces. Sax players also, by the way, in case you were unaware, they do make saxophone necks with different receiver pieces to sound different on them. If you're interested, call them, email them, whatever. Go out there, try them. They're actually really cool, and they get some really cool effects out of it, and they make necks that fit various saxophones. So if it ever piques your interest, go do it.
See,
But
now
yeah,
you're
so
talking more my language. See, brass stuff, man. I thought wood ones are complicated.
they are, and I'll get into why I think Wobins are complicated in a little bit. But yeah, so if possible, UCF Trumpet Day performance, field trip to Warburton, and several other things that are in loose planning stages because we're trying to figure out exactly what's happening, what's going to be open, what's going to get canceled by then, and it's a nightmare behind the scenes. Don't worry. Like I've done so many emails for these things in the last month, it's just unbelievable, and I can barely remember where I live. I'm glad I'm sitting there right now. But those things, and if there are any things that pop up, we're hopefully jumping on them. And as you mentioned earlier, Hapco, which is how would you describe them?
They're a music advocacy program.
That's broad enough to where I can work with it. So Hapco does sponsor performances of a lot of ensembles around the area, and as per their wishes, we would absolutely be able to present a program of stuff either before another group plays or as a featured thing. And it all depends on you because you're the people practicing the music and you're the people with the motivation. I'm just the guy waving arms and making funny commentary in front of the ensemble. Liar.
Again, we can't stress enough. Like, if you're interested in doing this, the way that we really make this stuff happen is you students and you guys and you parents. You know, student who plays this trumpet. Hey, look, send them our way. We love to work with them. We love to make them a better musician. We love to send them on their way to Valencia College, right? I mentioned them because we have a representative from Valencia coming to speak to you guys later today.
As a matter of fact, a lot of us did go to Valencia.
Yeah.
Both you and I both started college at Valencia, and we transferred to our respective places that are the same place, actually. Just different years.
Look at that.
Different dimensions, if you will.
Perfect. And thank you again, Chris King, for the information about our trumpet ensemble. We are so excited to have you and so excited to start our trumpet ensemble this year.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much, Chris. Really appreciate having you out here.
I'll be back in a few minutes.
You will.
All right.
Yeah, he beat me to it. Yeah. So for those of you that just can't get enough of Chris, don't worry. He will be back. He's also, in addition to our trumpet choir director, he runs his own instrument repair business, and he's going to be back to talk about it in a little bit. But with that, I think we're ready to change gears a little bit, and we're going to bring on our percussion ensemble directors. We have Miss Jackie Tabone, the director of bands at Liberty Middle School, and Mr. Justin Steger, an amazing professional percussionist who plays from a flamenco group to orchestras to Indian music and anything and everything. If it has a drum, he can do it.
I'm excited to talk to them both.
Hey,
Hello.
Jackie. Hey, Justin.
Hello.
What's up?
Hey.
So you guys introduce yourself, and I think, Justin, are you going to be playing for us tonight?
I don't know. I was concerned about the quality of the stream, but I didn't know how it sounded in the sound check. Maybe perhaps I'll play in a little bit.
So let's wing it. Let's feel it out. Let's see if we inspire Justin to his amazing percussion playing. But with that, I'm gonna let you guys introduce yourself a little bit, and then we'll take it from there.
So I'll go ahead. My name is Justin Steger, UCF alumni and a local player here in Orlando. I play, like Jesus was saying, I play in a lot of local groups. Obviously, things have been tough lately for live performance, but I've definitely had the opportunity to keep up some work here between recording sessions and teaching at the academy where I work, where I teach a drumming class, and the churches I play at here and there. And now things are actually starting to really get a little bit more going. There's been some motion to do more live performances lately. You guys are out in Winter Park on Sunday. We're playing with the Bach Festival Orchestra. We're doing a silver screen concert, lots of movie music from Star Wars, Harry Potter, and the Pink Panther, a bunch of stuff, Raiders of the Lost Ark. And that should be a really fun concert. And I think it's the first time I've played with an orchestra since the beginning of the whole pandemic situation. So I do a lot of work like that, and I also teach high school drumline stuff and pit, and I love percussion ensemble, and it's really been a passion of mine to do more with percussion ensemble. I think that it's a unique idiom where we can you were able to play in any function in music, from accompanying to soloist to being a bass player to being a drum set player. And I'm really excited about this program. I really have a lot of hope to get it off the ground this year. So that's my hope for OICE. As far as the plan, we'll get into that a little bit more later. So I'd like to pass it on to Jackie here. Jackie, tell us about yourself.
Hi, I'm Jackie Tabone. I am the director of bands at Liberty Middle School, and I also work with Infinity Percussion. So that is a local indoor group. I've also worked with several ensembles in the area, including several high school ensembles with the marching arts. I did my undergrad at Florida Atlantic University, and now I am studying music education at Florida State University. Go Noles! Super excited to be back here in Orlando and doing some percussion ensemble. One thing that I love about percussion ensemble, especially with OICE, is that the percussionist, your band director is like, go hit something. So my favorite thing about percussion ensemble is being with other people who know what to hit and how to hit and what sounds everything makes, and also getting to know other players, because we don't have a mouthpiece. We can talk, we can chop out, and we can play together in that sense. It's my favorite.
Perfect. Now, we're very happy to have the both of you. A quick question for you guys both. What are some exciting pieces that you guys are going to be performing this year with the percussion ensemble?
I think as far as the selection of repertoire, I've had some ideas to do some quartets, and I haven't picked out all the literature. I was thinking of doing some, for maybe if we have some of the more advanced players, to do some some Hollandin, and then I'm down maybe something for the ensembles that are a little bit more beginner. I'm not really sure exactly what I want to do, but it really depends on once I see who's registered, and there's so much to consider in that. However, one thing that I really want to do is, since one of the things we talked about is doing smaller ensembles like quartets, because of the situation, because of social distancing, and having more smaller ensembles. And as we move along through the spring, if things change, be able to put those together into some bigger pop ensembles. One of my ideas in the past, and hopefully this will come to fruition, is to be able to do, all sizes of ensemble and give the kids a little bit of a different experience than what they might be used to in their high school percussion ensemble. Because we really do have some great programs in Central Florida. It's not really a percussion lacking area. But I don't see, I do see a lot of kind of the same stuff happening, the same literature. So I'd like to eventually, rather than just doing the standard ensemble music that you see a lot, I'd like to maybe take, to do standard stuff and then bring everybody together. I want everybody, no matter what level you are, what grade you're in, to be able to participate together in some level. Play, if you're an 8th grader, play next to a senior who's very experienced, and do some things like mallet ensembles, larger mallet ensembles, where we do more classical literature, maybe not even percussion idiom, but maybe even something like Serenade for Strings, or maybe even some Bach chorales or something that you don't really necessarily get to do in the normal percussion, high school percussion education situation.
Perfect. Thank you, Justin. We appreciate that, and we are so excited about all the music that we're going to be performing with the percussion ensemble. Jackie, this next question is for you. What kind of guest clinicians will you be bringing in for this year?
So one of the cool things about being in the Infinity kind of group is we work with a lot of people who are all over the Central Florida and Northern Florida area. We also want to work with, we also work closely with UCF. There are also several other directors in the area who are also percussionists and love doing this sort of percussion ensemble thing that they may not have the time to do with their own kids. So we have a plethora of people who are wanting desperately to come out and work with the kids and just let off some steam, have some fun, and really get into some percussion literature.
No, that's super awesome. And again, one of our philosophies is not just so much here, learn from our directors, or here, learn from this specific person. It's learn from the community and learn from like all these great musicians, and a little bit from here, a little bit from there. It's like Thanksgiving dinner, right? And take what you can from all of the musicians that our staff has to offer and guest clinicians we bring in to better like shape and mold you guys as musicians. But yeah, it's really cool. I think percussionists, just like low brass, get delegated to the back of the room, like Jackie was mentioning. It's just like, here, hit stuff. Right?
don't break anything. Just go over there.
Exactly. See, like it's a world that I'm frankly unfamiliar with, and just to give you guys an opportunity to be like, oh, here's 2 world-class musicians, and here let's do trios and quartets and large marimba choirs, and it's just super awesome. I know that they have all these connections and have such a large wealth of expertise and knowledge, so we're really grateful to have you guys on staff. But Mr. Figueroa.
Well, I don't know about you. I'm anxious and I'm ready to hear Mr. Justin Steger here play. So if you'd like to, we'd love to hear you perform on I believe you're playing on vibes, I see.
I have a set of vibes here. I'm always nervous to play this over the cell phone because it can be pretty hard on the microphone. But I'll try to play something tune real lately for you. I don't know. Tell me if this is loud or. get a good sound from this. No, yes. Sound good? Okay. Here we go.
Beautiful. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Mrs. Tabone here has the big finale for you.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Please, we would love to hear.
Like little hand whistle.
Experience from Porgy the Corgi. If you get one thing out of today is to please make sure to follow Porgy the Corgi on Instagram, right?
At Porgy_the Corgi. Yeah, he's here. Hold on, I got you. He's like, what?
But no, thank you guys so much. And again, if you want to work with some of our amazing staff, please don't forget to go look at that. Check Porgy the Corgi right there. If you want to work with some of our amazing staff, please make sure to check out OICE/register underneath Porgy the Corgi, right? To work with our awesome staff and faculty, ask them about equipment, work with them, learn all the repertoire for percussion ensemble, meet some of the amazing guest clinicians we have, and get to listen to more of Justin's amazing vibraphone playing.
Which was extremely tasty. Enjoyed the performance. Thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you.
And with that, I think we're leading up to one of our board members, right? The one and only Mr. Gavin Hall, who was the original director of the Low Brass Ensemble. But as we expanded, we switched more to his main instrument, the horn. Please, please, please don't call it the French horn. The horn.
The horn.
Right? And he'll talk to you more about that. But without further ado, the horn choir director, Mr. Gavin Hall. Yes, he does play the horn.
Hi, everyone. I guess I missed my introduction, but I'm Gavin Hall. Hi, good to see you. I am the director of the Orlando Youth Horn Choir. I'm also the associate band director at Tavares High School currently. And I missed my introduction. Am I talking about myself right now, y'all?
Yeah. Hey, actually, Gavin, real quick, I want to talk to you about something.
What's up?
Why is it the horn and not the French horn?
Oh, well, that's a fantastic question. Here's a very boring history lesson for you. As you can see, the horn here it was originally made in Germany. Nothing French about it. The only thing the French did was slap some vowels on it. And even then, the Americans were like, hey, it's either a German horn or a French horn. Vowels or no vowels. Since the vowels stuck, they called it the French horn. But as of 1970 something, the International Horn Society voted to call it just the horn because it's more accurate to its origins.
So, no. So, quick question now because I'm interested. So, was the International Horn Society called the International French Horn Society before they changed it into horn?
You know, that's a really good question. I would have to do my research on that one. I would reckon I've never heard it called anything other than the IHS or International Horn Society. So I imagine during their indoctrination, they they also changed the name of the instrument, I suppose.
And with that, the most important lesson in life, which is you learn something new every day.
That's right.
But all right, Mr. Gavin Hall, I'm going to let you introduce yourself and talk to about yourself a little bit, and then we'll get on about more horn choir stuff.
Yeah, why not? Well, those of you who don't know me, I'm Gavin Hall. And those of you watching who may be my students, I'm Mr. Hall. And I've been playing and teaching out here in Central Florida pretty much my entire life. I'm a product of Seminole County Public Schools. It's where I started learning the horn and starting to master it and learn it and now teach it, which is very, very exciting. So I must have been doing that for now, I guess it's 14 years. We've been playing the horn for 14 years. Small world, or fast world, I guess. I've had the blessing of having amazing teachers and band directors throughout my entire life, and their teachings are something that I want to give back to the youth musicians, younger musicians. So that's just part of my little philosophy is give back what you've been given, and let's just continue sharing music because that's what we do best. I had the pleasure, as well as much of our staff actually, of going to Valencia College after high school. It's where I met Jesus, and since then my life has been a living nightmare. We love the guy, but here we are. Shout out Jesus. I got to study under John Torito, a fantastic horn player and gigger around here. Afterwards, I went to Stetson University to study with the marvelous Kathy Thomas. And from there, connections have been made. I've been able to play around a little bit. I got my teaching degree. And then spent a year in St. Cloud Middle School, go Mustangs. And like I said, now I'm here at Tavares High School, continuing to teach band and horn when I can, and playing as much as I can as well. One of the things I want to give back, especially as a band director and a horn player, I see the challenges and just the natures of running a band where you can't really get that specific instruction to your students on the little tidbits and the nuances of their playing or the extended technique approaches that they need, especially when it comes to horn playing. So one of the big drives for me in this horn choir is to give students the opportunity to learn those little nuances and practice techniques and approaches to horn that maybe their band directors either one, don't have time to do, or simply just aren't aware exist. So that's a little bit about me, and I started tapping into the horn choir there.
Yes.
Yeah, and so as you guys, as Mr. Hall mentioned, we've been very good friends for a long time since day one at Valencia College. Giving him a little shout out before we introduce you guys to Mr. Alan Gerber, who's been patient.
The one and only.
Oh my goodness, the man, the myth, the legend. But I want to talk to you guys. So what are some of the cool, interesting stuff that you have planned for the horn choir?
Yeah, well, my goal with the horn choir is threefold, and I wrote it down just because it's this is kind of important to me. It's first to teach proper playing habits that are necessary for just idiomatic horn repertoire. So again, how to properly stop the horn, and hand positioning and fingerings and just approaches to playing so that you can master the music that's written for the instrument. Second is to just expose students to quality music and achievable music literature. I think that's important, as well as just solo repertoire, right? If the kids are playing quality music, then quality results come out of it. So that's always a plus. And thirdly, it's really just to start introducing younger horn players to the horn players of Central Florida. There's fantastic players and teachers all around us. And it's I'm taking it upon myself to introduce these future Orlando Youth horn choir people and students to get to know some of the professionals and educators just around here in Florida so that they can get a full breadth of knowledge when it comes to horn playing.
Yeah, and we have some amazing hornists, right? Horn players?
Horn players. I think I'll just go horn player. French hornist. No, hornist. I think horn. No, I don't like it.
But yeah, some amazing clinicians lined up to come in. And we had some amazing clinicians do our all-state prep clinic, like Miss Kathy Thomas, that's an horn professor, and Mr. Juan Barrios, and Mr. John Torito, director, band, and horn professor over at Valencia College. But yeah, we're super excited to have this horn choir because, again, like the low brass ensemble, like the percussion ensemble, we want to give you guys something cool to do. Play melodies and really cool counter melodies instead of just playing upbeats for 50 minutes, right? But
we're gonna do nothing but Sousa marches, horn players, and it's just gonna be nothing but the upbeats, and it's gonna be marvelous.
And natural horn playing, right?
Oh, lots of natural horn playing. I'm all about hand position and ear training, so that's where that's going to come in.
Fantastic. Well, with that being said, what are some exciting pieces that you are planning to play with the horn choir this season?
That's a fantastic question. I could ask myself that too. No, we really want to be capturing just good repertoire. There's some Evason pieces that are fantastic. And also, I like to dabble in some arranging as well. I did it with the low brass ensemble. I probably will end up doing it the same with the horn choir. It's really just exposure to good rep. I know for a fact we're looking at Dvorak Symphony 9, Movement 2, an arrangement of that.
Beautiful.
Yeah, stealing that one from you, buddy. Hey, it's written for the English horn, so I figured the horn would fit perfectly, you know, so...
See, he's just
it's a little bit more appropriate.
Battle of the Bands in its truest form, right?
Yeah, that's right. As well, not only with just horn ensemble pieces, but also major orchestral excerpts. I think it's really important for students to know some of the most master writing, out there. So we'll do larger horn excerpts. We're looking at Mahler 1 and 5, just some of the bigger sections in there where it called for a lot of horns playing a lot of notes really loud. So we're going to get good at that. And that's just kind of a little sneak peek into what we're looking at for next year.
But no, and we're super excited. And again, we can't stress it enough. Hey, if you're a horn player, we'd love for you guys to be part of our organization and be part of our ensembles. Registration deadline is coming up, right? December. It's a hop, skip, and a jump, right? From where we are right now. Let your friends know. The more, the merrier. And again, the more people we have, the better experience you guys get. And the more clinicians we have, the more natural horn playing we could do, the better music we could do. So again, let your friends know. Share this live stream. Share our Instagram page, which is going to be on the bottom, right? And our Facebook page. The more, the merrier. But with that, actually, I think, Gavin, we're going to have you stay on while we introduce the guest of honor tonight, right?
Gladly.
Next person we have, he's actually a former professor of mine, so I wouldn't be here without him. He's a former professor of Mr. Hall, of so many people that you've heard speak today. And without further ado, the choir director over at Valencia College, Mr. Alan Gerber.
Hey.
Hey, oh my God, look at him.
Hey, how are you doing?
Doing good, man.
We're so excited to have you here and have you
Thanks.
talk about Valencia. I just want to pose this question out there for the audience and everyone listening. Do you guys know that Valencia has a fully functioning music program? I know people are like, oh yeah, I live by Osceola campus and I really wanted to be in a band. Well, surprise, Valencia has 4 or 5 campuses now, and over at the East Campus, not too far from UCF, they have a fully functioning music program with an instrument professor for every instrument, with music classes, theory, ear training, bands, choirs, orchestras, and all the works. And Mr. Gerber, the one and only, right? He runs the choir program, and he's such an amazing asset to Valencia. He's helped me out personally. He's helped so many of us out personally. But I'm going to pass it over to you and let you talk about Valencia College.
Well, thank you. It's great to be here. And actually, it's great to see Mr. Hall, Mr. Lopez. Great to see all of the former students who are teaching now. This is amazing. I mean, I'm older than Yoda, but the thing, it's really cool to see, people that started out their college careers, practicing in practice rooms, and now they're out teaching people. This is just so cool. I would just say about Valencia, it's a cool place to start. and cheap, by the way, too. It's really not that expensive. It's a good way to get started. And you really meet a lot of awesome students there. You know, people get together and form ensembles and do all kinds of things. You have opportunities for student conducting, for solo work and things that a lot of times you don't get if you're beyond like a 2-year school. So it's a little bit of an advantage of a 2-year school. Some of the other cool things that we're doing is that we have developed a jazz specialty. So if you're really into jazz, we have a whole music track that's geared towards that. We also have a musical theater track for singers that are interested in BFA programs to go on to those. So you know, we're trying to specialize in different areas, and of course we provide private lessons with like an excellent list of teachers that provide them, and of course we have a bunch of ensembles. So we have all the ones on the band side, and I'm sort of in for Mr. Chirito today, the younger and hipper Mr. Chirito. But he's gigging because he keeps working. So I'm in for him a bit. I do more of the stuff on the choral side. So I'm involved with those with our concert choir and also other ensembles that do more of a music theater rep. So doing some really cool things this year, and we're working on ways to use the technology because of the whole COVID thing. And we're discovering ways to teach those classes and working on live streaming our programs. So you can, if you want to see programs when they come up, just go to Valencia College /arts, and you can check out the arts calendar. And that'll give you that information. So we're looking forward to posting some really great things. We're working with our digital media group and our sound technology people. Those students are helping us to do some great recording, and then we'll be posting those either by YouTube or Vimeo or some other kind of an outlet. So we're looking at those things. So that's us, and some of us are learning about the technology through this. So we actually will be smarter by the time we're at the end of all of this.
So, Mr. Gerber, I have a question for you. So,
Sure.
So I'm a rising senior in high school, and I'm not really interested in majoring in music, but like I did choir or band in high school. Can I still be part of the Valencia music program?
Oh, yes. Yes, of course. In fact, many times you're taking other coursework where you need to have electives. And the best way to keep your experience going is to use those electives to be involved in any of our ensembles, whether it be the symphonic band, or sometimes we have smaller groups that form like a percussion ensemble or brass ensemble. We also have a string ensemble, and then we'll also do combined programs with those. We have the vocal side, and then we also have jazz band. So there's a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, and plenty of opportunities indeed. I remember my first year, my first semester, Mr. Gerber coming up to me, he's like, "Hey, I have this really cool clarinet vocal piece, like duet. Shepherd on the Rock, right? Emily Granger." And he's just like, "Here,
Yeah.
let's do this." I was like, "Yeah, why not? Let's go for it." Or getting to accompany the choir, or that Christmas concert where we combine the orchestra, the band, and the choir together. And it's just, again, so many awesome opportunities that you don't have to major in music. So I know a lot of us end up at Valencia, and again, it's not a knock. I went there, Mr. Hall went there, Mr. Figueroa went there, Mr. King went there, Mr. Blanchard went there. And again, we're all doing well in our, I think Justin went there, so it's just so many of us went there and worked there, and our vocal jazz director, Michelle Mayo, if you're in her ensemble, you get to, hey, here's work with your future professor. So an amazing place to start, some place where you get to flourish as a freshman and sophomore, instead of, hey, I'm a freshman, sophomore, I don't really get much attention, because it goes to the juniors and seniors at a UCF or Stetson or Rollins or wherever you go. And let's not even like forget to mention like the amount of money that we got to save because we went to Valencia before UCF. And again, please continue on to UCF and Rollins or Stetson, but if you do end up at Valencia, please don't like gloss over their amazing music program. But with that, yeah, and it's super cool because we get to work with Valencia quite a bit. I know I go out there and work with Mr. Chirito and Mr. Gerber quite a bit. We've done recordings in their super amazing state-of-the-art studio that they just got, right?
Yeah.
We got to rehearse in the band room and do concerts over there at their amazing auditorium. Hey guys, Valencia has a fully functioning auditorium. I know that UCF doesn't, but Valencia does, right? We love you, UCF. You guys are great. But it's again, the resources and the education you guys get over there is amazing. I know that like my clarinet professor got her master's degree at Juilliard, and she played in Shirley Temple's band. And I know Mr. Torito, who is Gavin's horn professor, like plays right now. He's gigging. He's just like in the time of no gigs, he's gigging. That's just how amazing he is.
Yeah.
But Mr. Gerber, is there any last words or statements or projects or anything that Valencia is doing you'd like to let all students know about?
Well, I just think I think it's really good to know too that there's opportunities to explore all kind of things, as we're even starting out in the first couple years of music. That's things like conducting. We have some individual conducting classes and things so that people can learn. Also, composition, if people are interested in composition. Dr. Gifford, our program chair, he's a great composition person. And we have some people even now that are really doing some wonderful composition works and building a portfolio who are planning to go study at UCF for composition. So there are all of the ways to explore the music that way. And if you really want to record and things, we have, instead of paying money or going to some place like Full Sail, you can come right to our sound tech people and come to our studios, and we have the highest tech and newest stuff. And they're always looking for people to record. So if you get together a little ensemble or you want to do some solo literature, put out a Christmas EP, you can do anything like that. So there's a lot of opportunities, and we're just waiting for the talent to do it.
And don't forget the most important part about going to Valencia, and the biggest treat is you get to take Theory 2 with Mr. Alan Gerber. Right, Gavin?
That's the experience of my life.
All the secondary dominance and all the passing tones and all that fun stuff you learn in Theory 2. What a great time.
Right.
I want to thank you so much, Mr. Gerber, for being here. It's always a pleasure to get to work with your old professors and your old teachers, and it's a great pleasure just going to Valencia and meeting so many lifelong friends and so many amazing professors and teachers. And man, I wish it's so cool because you guys have are always developing your program. We didn't have, I don't think we had a jazz track when we were there, and it's just what? Now I'm jealous. Can I re-enroll back up at Valencia?
Right. We'd love to have you back anytime.
One of these days, right? When things settle down, we'll come and visit for sure.
Sure.
But thank you so much, Mr. Gerber.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
And then I think with that, we're going to bring on our next partner, our CFO over at the Orlando Youth Chamber Ensembles. Ever heard of him?
Oh, yes. I think I've heard of him. I think he's also our trumpet choir director also.
Not trumpet ensemble?
No, not trumpet ensemble, choir, because the trumpet is the only instrument that is the most heavenly and close to perfect.
I think he's a little biased. I think it's the clarinet, but what do I know?
No. It's always the trumpet.
It's not the voice, right?
Definitely the voice.
There's over here at OICE, we have a couple biases based on the instruments we play, but they're very small. But without further ado, we're going to bring on another trumpet player, right? The one and only Mr. Chris King, CFO of the Orlando Youth Chamber Ensemble, CEO over at CK Brassworks. By the way, CK Brassworks only employs veterans.
And what an introduction. You have a blowtorch in your hands.
I do. I figured it was fitting. Justin and Gavin both played when they got on screen, so I figured, hey, blowtorch.
Wait, Chris, where was that when I was making creme brulee the other day?
That was safely out of your hands.
What?
And with as many blowtorches as I have misplaced and I can't find, it was safely out of my hands too. I spent 10 minutes looking for that when I was off camera. But the reason I have that with me is because, yes, I am the owner-operator of CK Brassworks, which is a predominantly brass and woodwind repair company. We do only. Okay, so we employ entirely female disabled veterans, which accounts for 100% of our people that do things other than myself. In that Lindsay, my fiance, is actually our only other employee. And she falls under all those categories. So if there's a tax break I can get for that, please tell me, because I'd be just elated to have that. But yeah, we do work on brass and woodwind instruments predominantly. For brass stuff, which is kind of the specialty, through years of performing and knowing what good functioning and usable instruments are, I've kind of gotten the idea of what to do with that kind of stuff. And also playing plenty horrible abominations of instruments, I know what to avoid with things and fix this and that. And there's always a little tweak with something to make everything better. And I do everything from ultrasonic cleanings on instruments to replacing bells and lead pipes, venting pistons and rotors, dent work, soldering, all sorts of things like that. Woodwinds, it's usually a little more cut and dry in most cases, in that some pads are terrible or a neck cork is off, and that's pretty much the idea. There are adjustments to woodwinds that can be done, obviously, as you, a good woodwind player, knows. But at the same time, if anything is a little out of my reach to do, because I am not really a woodwind player. I play flute, saxophone, clarinet, and oboe well enough to fix them. I don't play them well enough to play them in public.
All
And
inferior.
I stand by that. So if anything is ever out of my reach as far as adjustments or customizations, I definitely refer people to one of several fantastic woodwind techs around town. I also do a mild amount of orchestral strings repair. Most of that tends to be on, and what I forgot to mention is rental instruments, because a CK Brassworks is a rental affiliate for NEMC, which provides brass, woodwind, string, and percussion instruments to middle schools and high schools around the country. I am a non-stocking affiliate, which means I do not have things on site. Just to get that out of the way, because I get about 4 calls a week about that. What happens is now especially handy, since we're in the kind of apocalyptic COVID times where no one can come in contact with one another. Upon deciding what you want, NEMC actually ships the instrument directly to you. I am the local service center for the stuff, and I do a good amount of their warranty repairs, but it's all done remotely. It actually always has been with me. This year was very convenient in that we just kind of had to do it that way. So it was fantastic. But I also saved myself the trouble of going to probably 30 rental meetings this year, which really let me catch up on sleep, as any band director will probably say the same of. But yeah, so that's the story with that. The story of how I got into repairing instruments was when I was 18 or 19, I actually had some poor repair work done to one of my own instruments. And in my 18, 19-year-old rage at the time, I said to myself, well, this is terrible. I could do a better job than that, being as arrogant as possible. So I went and got the tools and supplies, and I fixed it, and it was a lot better than that. And I realized, oh crap, I was right. I can do better than that. Huh. So since then, I just bought more tools, parts, broken instruments to refurbish, fix, and things like that, until I finally, after working as a repair tech and trumpet teacher at a music store for a while, established my own business doing it. And I service schools in the area, professional players from the theme parks, orchestras, and hobbyists, anyone really. I have a saxophone now that someone's supposed to pick up tomorrow that I did some alterations to, because the player has what they feel are small hands, although I feel like they're about the same size as my hands, so I'm starting to wonder about me. But just some key spacers and things, a riser on a pinky key that makes all the difference for someone who is looking to do that. And little details do make very big differences in certain cases, and that can be the determining factor between somebody wanting to play an instrument and not wanting to play it, which is the reason why I don't like playing some instruments, even for playtesting. Clarinets, easy. Saxophones, easy, until we get to baritone saxophone. Then I hate you.
But I just want to mention to you students how important it is to make sure you have a working instrument. It makes night and day. And I'll let all the band directors vouch for that.
Yes.
Like night and day. And Chris does quality, affordable work. Like, please just reach out to him. His information is literally right down there. So check him out.
No doubt. Just send me a text, send me an email, give me a call. Just ask about whatever.
Exactly.
In a good amount of cases, and it's been the case over the last month since everyone's been starting to play in band. About twice a week, I would get a call with someone saying, "Hey, so I just oiled my valves and no air is going through the trumpet." And I'm like, okay, put it down, take out the valves, spin them around a little bit. They're going to click into place. Try and blow into it then. And usually, in all except for one of the cases, it was exactly the issue, and they put the valves in backwards. So if it's ever something that doesn't require you coming in and getting it fixed, I'm happy to just tell you how to do it over the phone.
And
It saves you time. It saves me time. I get to play with the dogs and watch TV because I'm not doing that. So I have no quarrels with that whatsoever. Incidentally, I think one of the dogs ran away because she got scared by the blowtorch.
I'm telling you,
That'll show her.
I need to borrow that. I have some desserts I have in mind that I need that for. But I want to say a giant thanks to Chris for being here for the trumpet choir and for CK Brassworks. Please, again, I know that Chris does a lot of repair work for a lot of the OCPS and Lake County and Seminole County and Osceola County and every county in Central Florida.
A lot of lake, a lot of orange.
See, there you go. And a lot of students, I remember during this quarantine period, I would just show up at his house, so safely, by the way, with like,
Always.
Here's 11 instruments that we need to fix. Let's hang out and talk about OICE and all the great things we do while you fix 17 saxophone pads and flute pads and bass clarinets and everything, every woodwind
Some of that effect, yes.
Yeah, right. Amongst other things. My personal instruments included. So yeah.
Oh, yours are always easy. There's almost never anything wrong with them.
Well, hey, that means I take care of my instruments, right?
Yeah, it's like you're responsible or something. It's just the weirdest
What
thing.
a concept. But yeah, check him out. Again, he does amazing woodwind and brass, mostly brass, but I'm a woodwind player. Repair work. Check him out. His information is down below. If not, ckbrassworks.com org.
Yep. I'm also on Facebook for CK Brassworks. The messaging interface is a little wonky on Facebook for business profiles. So feel free to send me a message on there. But if you send me an email instead, I will not complain because that's a lot more accessible on all my devices.
There you go. But thanks so much, Chris from CK Brassworks and OICE, but CK Brassworks right now, for being here. And with that, I think we're just about to wrap up. But before we let you go, we want to let you guys know about some deadlines and some events that we have coming up. This Friday, the 23rd, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes.
The 23rd, we have a Rollins flute professor, Katie Mess, who's going to be working with you guys, talking to you guys, giving you an opportunity to meet her, ask her questions, play for her, absolutely free of charge. All the links are on our Facebook and Instagram, and if you can't find them there, ask your band directors because I am almost positive they have all the information for it. And tell your friends if you have registered to sign up for that. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the 27th, off the top of my head, we have a former music director, assistant music director over at Cirque du Soleil, Mr. Amazing Woodwind Extraordinaire, but in this setting, saxophonist, Elaine Burdett, talking to you about anything and everything saxophone, about being a professional, about what it takes to make it and big in the music world. We have our upcoming clinics every other Wednesday, right? So the next one is November 4th and then November 21st, right?
18th.
Oh, so close. And the next one is strings, and the one after that is our woodwinds. The string ones are going to be really cool. We might be, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, giving away some instruments for those of you that applied for.
Oh my.
Yeah. So we did an amazing giveaway for some violas, right? So I might be finding out who won those. But yeah.
So as the joke will go, yes, we were able to give away violas.
Yes, and not just one, but two.
Exactly.
It's
like the humor was baseless all these years.
With that, we want to bring on our amazing staff who are here tonight.
One more thing, by the way, and I just was in communication for this earlier. We may actually have a trumpet clinic happening sometime soon with a clinician that I think everybody might enjoy quite a bit.
And if you want to find out who this clinician is, you might have to check out our Instagram and our Facebook, right? OICE_official, which is right down below. And please,
We are on the social medias.
we are on all the social medias, YouTube and not TikTok, but yet, as our marketing team tells me vigorously. So Instagram and Facebook, YouTube, our website. Yep, check that out. That has a lot of information. But I want to say thank you to Mr. Frederick, who is not here with us anymore, Mr. Alan Gerber, but going down the list, Mr. Chris King of the Trumpet Ensemble, Miss Jackie Tabone, our Percussion Ensemble Director, with special guest Corgi the Porgy. That's the Instagram handle. Make sure to check him out. Corgi, the Norgie, the Porgy, the Corgi.
I'm gonna look
All
it
right.
up.
So, Mr. Justin Steger, who has a gig tomorrow night with the Bach Festival, check him out. Mr. Joan Murphy, right, the one and only Mr. Gavin Hall, board member and former Lopez Ensemble, and not the French horn choir director.
I think it's the Canadian horn choir
the
director.
Austrian.
We got to start the American horn choir first.
Okay.
But yeah, please, again, don't forget, registration is only $10, and that gets applied to your $75. Yes, only $75 tuition for the entire year. You get to work with our amazing staff. You get to maybe meet Corgi the Porgy, not Porgy the Corgi.
Or Georgie the Porgy.
And Papaya, right?
Papaya.
Who's hanging out there. And work with our amazing clinicians. Please attend our clinics. Our clinics are absolutely free of charge, and you don't have to be an OICE member. Again, our purpose and our goal is just to educate you guys a little bit and let you guys see some of the amazing talent and musicians that Orlando has to offer. I want to say giant thank you to Miss Livia Jennings and Nadie Jimenez, who are somewhere here. Wait. Oh, there they are. They've been sitting next to us the entire time, making sure all these amazing graphics and banners and information and funny quotes about horn history lessons are coming up on the screen.
We had those?
Giant thank you to Mr. Antonio Figueroa, who's sitting right next to me.
And
The VP.
And please don't be afraid to follow us on our Instagram, our Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, where you can find both our live streams and some other videos that we'll be posting and other things among that discuss OICE. And again, thank you guys again attending our live stream.
Yeah, and we look forward to getting to work with you guys, meet you guys, and hopefully making you guys better musicians. But with that, if you have any more questions, if there's anything you want to say, please email us over at info@oice.org or send us a Facebook or Instagram message. And with that, I think that'll do it. I want to say good night, y'all, and we'll see you in 2 weeks, 2 Wednesdays from now. Bye, y'all. Be safe.